Hey there, my name's Nadernejad, and I bet you're wondering, why does it say everybody poops on my desktop? I'm crazy, but that's not the only reason why. Um, Everybody poops is a principle that I've adopted throughout my life. I mean, when we look at somebody and we think they're scary, all we have to do is remember that they poop. And if we remember that everyone poops, and we look at the world leaders that we think are so influential and powerful, if we remember they poop, we remember that they're human, and we remember that we can deconstruct them. We can find out what makes them so influential. Now, I want to look at educators specifically on this channel because we're an education channel, and we're going to be looking at Grant Cardone today, self-branded king of sales training. This guy is phenomenal. He gives really good advice. I've read a lot of his books. I've engaged with his content for a long time. But I want to deconstruct him. I want to find out his strategy, his energy, his beliefs, and his principles. But I also want to delve a little bit deeper and find his fears. And I think if we can do this, obviously it's all going to be perception-based. It's going to be looking at the data as well, finding some concrete evidence. And, we're going to use real world examples to find these things out. If you've ever watched Charisma on Command, this is very similar, but it's very digestible and specific to educators, but not in the traditional sense. So we're going to be looking at entrepreneurs, online motivators, great dictators, if we get more chance to, do these fun things on the channel. So we're going to start off, like I said, with Grant Cardone, and I'm going to disappear from this little corner. I probably will when we bring the link up. So let's go. This is Grant Cardone. Let's take a look.
Is information. Whether you're going into Bloomingdale's to get clothes, what do you want? Hey man, where's the jeans at? Information. You get it? Hey, what's your sale right now? I'm going to a car dealership. Hey, where's the Audi 4? Information.
First of all, really great energy. What Grant Cardone reminds me of is America. That America always wants to seem like they're patriots, but also they go after things. They go after their dreams. And this guy always reminds me of America. It also sounds like he has a bit of a southern accent. And honestly, this was the first thing that I noticed, even though that might be a prejudice thing to think. That's what I thought immediately. And I didn't have a bad connotation or anything. I just thought it was really funny. And I came across one of his ads. And I thought maybe like the initial time when I saw him, it was just his demeanor that made me think that, this guy is like, he reminded me of like a Western cowboy sort of guy. It's weird that he had that persona, and I didn't really take his advice for face value. I came across one of his ads on YouTube before I ever heard about the guy, and I thought, this is just another one of those guys trying to build a brand. But then I started listening to his ads. And he said at 25, I was drinking and I was doing all these things. And eventually I realized these principles. And this is what a lot of people do. And I don't exactly remember what was in the ad, but it actually resonated with me. I said, you know what? This guy's actually speaking about knowledgeable things. He's not just repeating fluff. He just gave practical, concrete advice. So I checked him out a little bit more. I read some of his stuff and I realized, this guy really... he knows what he's doing. So let's take a look at his channel. And I'm using YouTube to audit some of this because YouTube is one of the places where I get most of their video content. So that really helps me. Immediately I see that he has 3,628 videos. That's massive. People who proclaim to work so hard, so tirelessly, barely produce 3,628 videos. That is incredible. He preaches a method called the 10X rule. And if you don't know what the 10X rule, I'm going to take you there immediately and show you what it is. The 10X rule is a book by Grant Cardone, but it's also something he talks about, a principle, a philosophy he teaches. And it just means if you want to be successful, you have to pump out 10 times the content, 10 times the amount of passion, the energy than anybody else does. 10x everything. But in his book, he goes into some other things. He talks about fear. For example, fear sets in when you give it more time. So if you have to make an important phone call and you go have a coffee, you go have a drink, and you stall, your fear will feed on that time and become more of a fear. That was true because I experienced it. Concrete stuff like that I already knew, but he put into words, made me realize, hey, this guy is a lot more articulate than I thought. Let's delve a little bit deeper into some of his content. Looking at his videos, I'm really interested in his upload schedule, seeing if it has any sort of, consistency. So this was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, 2 days ago, 2 days ago. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 days ago. 1, 2, 3. 3 videos. 4 days ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's releasing 2, 3, 4, 5 videos every single day, which is incredible. 3 videos to 5 videos a day is huge. So this guy's filming all the time. Even if he's not doing all of his filming, he is filming all the time. He wrote 5 books in the span of 2 years, something like that. So I thought this was a get-rich-quick scheme guy. And sure, in some ways, he is a little bit. But he gives a lot of concrete details and facts. But I don't just want to pump him up. I want to delve a little bit deeper. And one of his strengths, I think, is that he spends a lot of time with his family. Let's see if I can find the keyword family. Wife, daughter. Let's see. Time. He talks a lot about time. Love. Why he loves the octopus. Let's see. What is love? Grant Cardone. What to do when you fall out of love. See, okay. There's a lot of stuff about love. See, I look for a few keywords to see what would pop up. Family, daughter, keywords like looking for his family members to see if he talked about them. Because this is a huge thing I haven't seen many entrepreneurs do. But he's very traditional in the sense that, he really cares about his family. At least so it seems from his videos.
Number 2, does it love you, but you love them? Been there, done that.
So this seems like a live stream where he's interacting with his audience. So not only is he going ahead and creating those videos, but he's interacting with his audience. And as you can see, he brings his wife on his show too. I know a lot of entrepreneurs who don't do that because they're afraid of exposing their family life. They're afraid of that criticism. But it seems like he has a thick skin. And why would you get criticized for your family, first of all? It's not necessarily that someone would criticize you, but once you show your family, when you're a public figure and you let people into your personal life, it becomes a lot harder. I mean, people comment on the way you're treating each other, it can exasperate problems. It can make things bigger. If there's already a problem there, it can amplify. That's why a lot of famous couples, they break up. Now, that's a very generalized statement. Obviously, they seem to be doing this very successfully, and I credit that to their independence. She seems extremely independent, and he seems extremely independent. He's an entrepreneur, I believe. She does some business herself. I'm not sure what exactly, but they're both very independent people. They're not they almost seem a little bit cold with each other. And I don't know, see, they're still together and they're always with each other. So I don't know if that's just a part of the personal branding, because it very well could be. But at the same time, I think there is some authenticity to it. I think that independence, that self-sufficiency combined with each other is what makes it really interesting. So that tells us a little bit about relationships with Grant Cardone and with his wife and how those work. Also, I just want to point something out. Instead of writing 2 day, he wrote O-day. O-day in the Cardone zone. So I don't know if this was somebody who he hired to go ahead and write, or if he did this himself. My guess is that he wrote this description himself. Let's go a little bit more. What are Grant Cardone's fears, and how would I back that up? Well, see, when we fear something, we tend to talk about it or we tend to talk around it. So if I'm afraid of something, I'm either going to say, oh, I was really afraid of this before, but I'm not anymore. And I may say that so many times, but that really means that I am afraid. And if I'm not afraid, I may have regrets, or I may be upset about it, or it may still be weighing on me. And the reason why it's not going away is because I haven't had enough time to grieve those regrets. Now, when we look at Grant Cardone, the thing he mentions the most is when he was 25. Beforehand, he used to do drugs. He had a difficult life. It was very hard for him to find his passion. I mean, he said he was lazing around. Everything was tough for him. He always talks about that. He quotes it in 10X. I'm pretty sure I can find it on the channel, if not here. The message I needed to hear at 25. Let's keep going. Okay, 25K views. 225. Okay, let's do that one. Let's do the Message I needed to hear at 25. I'm going to need to find that first, of course. There we go.
Opportunity seized is information.
So I believe this is the video we started off on. But Grant Cardone always talks about when he was 25, when he decided to make that change. So I think his biggest fears are lost time because of how much he talks about time. And I think this may also be a reason why he spends so much time with his family because, you know, he feels like he has lost so much time in his past by not prioritizing, and really starting at 25, most people don't know what they want to do until they're 35. I'm not kidding. I see this out there. And I think it's really interesting. So I think this guy has a lot going for him. The biggest thing I'd say is notable is his work ethic and his ability to produce massive amounts of content, massive amounts of action. And I see this, this is real results, 3,628 videos, the businesses, the real estate. So this guy has a lot going for him. We've talked a bit about his strategy. Let me sum it up. Strategy, tons and tons of massive action, tons of content. Obviously noted in his 10x strategy. His energy, breaking down his energy, I talked about it in the beginning. He combines humbleness with that machismo sort of energy, that energy that you get in, like I said, like in a Westerner. And I think that's what makes his personality so appealing. The fact that...
I acknowledge the communication. The full acknowledgement of the communication is, I understand that it's not the right time. You got to acknowledge that and then return back to the problem. You can't keep banging. You cannot try to force it.
So you see the force that comes through, but you also see the softness that he has with his children, with his wife. Now, this could be a part of the branding, but it seems very authentic. And the reason why it seems authentic is because he's done it 3,628 times. You try faking something for 10 videos and see how that feels. I think there is authenticity to this. Obviously, we all put on a bit of a front to protect ourselves, but I really think that this is an authentic guy doing his thing. And I think that's really cool. Obviously, there's some pitfalls that all of us have, but what I think is really interesting, okay, if I were to talk about pitfalls, I think that his energy, first of all, is a little bit unconfident, and this might be strange, but you got to get him with someone else.
Entrepreneur that works for themselves and makes 89 grand. Because I got to tell you, I'm like, you don't want to do that for 90 grand.
You don't, because you have enough talent to do more.
He's kind of uncomfortable here. See, look at the body language. With Gary Vaynerchuk staring off in the distance and Grant Cardone. See, this is good. Grant is, I wouldn't say leaning in, but he's showing energy, he's showing an interest, he's showing enthusiasm. I find Gary a little bit dismissive. It's kind of irritating sometimes. But this over here,
Strategy, the creative output. You're rich. Yeah, I'm a rich guy. Yeah, I'm a rich guy.
this is discomfort. See this fiddling? I can't give you a 100% guarantee that he's uncomfortable, but with a facial expression, with a constant fidgeting,
So let's get really rich.
So let me
he's trying to cut in, but he's not listening.
Patient.
Yeah, let me go back to this thing you said about the 89,000. The entrepreneur
Yes.
that works for themselves and makes 89.
A little bit fast, stumbling a little bit, not too much. I'm not going to pick on that. That would be too nitpicky. But see, the thing is, I see him seeking, what's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't say he's looking for other people to tell him to go ahead. Clearly, he creates action by himself. He doesn't need permission from anybody, which is fantastic. But he does need a certain amount of social energy, which I think makes him more socially intelligent. He needs that attention or affection, if you may, from other people that he's interacting with. Gary, on the other hand, does not. He functions by himself. But you can see this. His body language is great. He's a salesman. He's initiating contact. He's leaning in. He's doing all those things. But see, when someone withholds that gratification that comes with giving comes with giving you that attention, giving you their time, he gets uncomfortable.
Because I got to tell you, I'm like, you don't want to do that for 90 grand.
I just see the discomfort. Now he might just be pissed off. I can't tell you for sure. But my belief is he does need a certain amount of social gratification. And this may point back to, and psychologists would kill me right now. They'd be so mad that I'm just making all these baseless assumptions, and I get it. But at the same time, I think there are some insights that you can learn from watching people carefully. Everyone's going to draw their own conclusions. But really, I think Grant Cardone's strategy, tons of content. Energy, like I said, he has that macho side to him, but at the same time, he has a lot of warmth. That strength versus warmth characteristic is what makes him charismatic. That's his energy. Principles, family. Big family person. Branding, even if you just showcase it in your branding for the sake of branding, it's still a reflection of traditional values and the people that you're trying to appeal to through that set of traditional values. There's a reason why you brand yourself that way. Fears, social rejection, lack of accomplishment, and wasted time. That's my final thesis for Grant Cardone, breaking down him as an educator, because he really is an educator. He's a sales trainer. So that's what I wanted to do. Let me know how you found this video. I'm definitely going to make more, but I want your opinion. How was this? I was really inspired by channels like Charisma on Command that break stuff down like this. I'm doing the whole online education thing, and I didn't just want to make videos in my room because that gets boring for everybody. I wanted to actually break stuff down and tell you how I see the world a little bit. I don't tend to think so hard about things that way, but when I go and I break things down and study body language, I find it tends to help me in my own personal life. So you let me know what you think. Let me know if I hit the nail on the head or if I made any mistakes, and thank you for watching.